Welcome back to Nightmine Live! Tonight's session began with coverage of the much-loved Tangi virus story, but then we kept on going with the whole anthology it spawned, Vintage 8's Tangi virus saga, which introduces an entire world build of horrors that's very fun. I did a lot of stopping for critique, analysis, and discussions on style and media form for this one. I would just be repeating myself in advance if I gave you a rundown here. I'll tell you what though, let me know in the comments if you're interested in continuing exploration of the Tangi virus saga and the experiences on Vintage 8. There's certainly much more where this came from, so I'd like to know how you feel about it. I'm actually pretty interested myself. In the meantime, here's our journey with the Tangi virus, Oracle Project, and the first half of The Sinkhole. Well, we'll find out. I'm interested to see just how well done they are and how well woven they are all together. But it does all start with the original video, the Tangi virus. And now, as you can see, quite clearly, it bills itself as analog horror. We're gonna put that to the test. Let's see how analog your analog horror is, because this is gonna be my criteria from now on. I am not gonna be Mr. Happy Nice Guy Nick Nocturne about this anymore. No, you're getting my actual critical, straight-to-the-point analysis and judgment on it. If you're billing yourself as analog horror, I'm going to grade you on a rubric of analog media and technology. I am. I'm going to tell you whether you actually pass the test or not, because it's about time that we start legitimately being honest about this. We can hype up the victories and amazing things that happen in these projects, but when it comes to analog media, it's not fair. It's not fair to just keep waving our hands like, yeah, I mean, I know it's nothing at all like the analog media it's supposed to be presenting itself as, but it's so fun. No. You tell me that you're a chef, you better be able to make a meal. You feel me? Especially a pizza chef. You tell me you're a pizza chef, you better serve me some convincing pizza, even if you put your own spin on it. It makes you a better creator. What should we call stuff in that gray area? Mixed media unfiction. Let's go.
Tape 1. Unidentified disease. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 8th of August, 1988. Report. Several cases of an unidentified infection have been reported in several parish residents. Patients were reported to have been swimming in the Tick-4 River prior to symptoms. Additional notes. Blood samples have been ordered from each patient. Water samples were taken from 3 key areas of the river. Sample 1, outside Lake Pontchartrain. Sample 2, near Kate's Crossing. Sample 3, North Parish.
Okay, this is already succeeding so much better than what Vita Carnus did in the whole column of analog horror media. All of the digital artifacts are blurred at their edges. They are not crisp. Everything that we're seeing has similar blurring, because everything back then, it was not the crisp and nice look that we have now. The definition was not good. That's kind of what has happened over time, from analog to digital and up and up and up, is everything got crisper, it got sharper, the definition increased. If you're going to present anything as analog media, you need that softness, you need that blurring, where details are harder to pick up. There should not be sharp lines. Even sharp lines should have a touch of blurring to them, and I'm detecting that throughout. We also have the rolling effect of the media kind of trying to correct itself as this is happening in the footage. The footage selected that's going on here really, really works for what they're presenting, because it's supposed to be an overview, right, of these areas of running water. Just kind of somebody, a researcher, going out there with their camera and panning across a landscape. It's working that way. It doesn't feel like it was lifted from something that doesn't fit the bill. This does fit the bill. Now, an interesting element you can see, which is an artistic touch. Watch.
Several cases of an unidentified infection have been reported in several parish residents. Patients were reported to have been swimming in the Tickfor River prior to symptoms. Additional.
So we have that kind of glitchy effect going on for transition work here. That would not be natural at all, I think, in anything going on with this, but here we understand it intrinsically as it's part of the toolkit of analog media, and it's being used in order to break things up appropriately. I don't hate it. When it comes to actually using a transition piece like that, I really like that choice. You're staying within the toolkit of the media. And what's more, another type of creator, one with less control over their artistic approach, would have put loud, nasty glitching noises in each of those spots. They didn't. They just let it roll. They kept the atmosphere that they have already established, which is calm, and I really enjoy that. So far, it's flying so much higher than some of these other analog horror projects.
Notes. Blood samples have been ordered from each patient. Results are expected in 7 to 8 business days. A follow-up to this entry will be made shortly after. Tape 2. Inconclusive. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 18th of August, 1988. Report. Low levels of aluminum and copper were discovered. Neither should have produced the symptoms found in patients. Blood work yielded negative results. Common pathogens consistent with symptoms were not present. Additional notes. Many of the patient's symptoms have improved. Several, however, have worsened by developing meningitis. 28 new patients have been admitted, all with initial symptoms of itchy throat, skin rash, irritated eyes, nausea, and diarrhea. I suspect we're dealing with something viral. Patient 1, infant, condition, asymptomatic. Patient 2, adult, condition, deceased. Patient 3, child, condition, stable.
Okay, this is where it's harder. When you're a creator doing this kind of thing, this is where your task is a little bit more difficult, because you want to be able to show these things. That's the urge that you have, is the idea is, why would they not have footage? This is a harder sell in the footage. We can tell it's older, we can tell it's more cinematic, it's more set up, more filmic. It doesn't really fit the bill as much. This is the creator doing what they can with the situation. I don't hate it, but I can see it exactly for what it is.
Patient 4, adult, condition, stable, lost child. Autopsy results. Patient 2, tumor found near spine. More tests need to be conducted on surviving patients. Tape 3, unknown pathogen identified. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 5th of November, 1988. Report. I believe to have discovered a new pathogen in the waterways near Kate's Crossing. It was also found in the bloodwork of our patients. We are nicknaming the disease the Tangi virus. Report continued. The parish government has been notified. Blood samples, water samples, and biopsies have been sent to the CDC.
I do love that rolling effect there. That really works for this. It's so quiet, too. The audio buzz is a good touch, because silence on analog media was never truly silence.
Biopsy results. The tumor yielded a strange and frightening discovery. They were filled with aggressive worm-like organisms. As impossible as this may seem, but it appears the organisms are being birthed from the virus. Almost like they are being hatched.
That's different.
Results. Further tests are needed. Additional thoughts. The idea of discovering a new virus is both terrifying and exciting. I'm just glad we identified the pathogen before it had a chance to spread. Tape 4. Cause for concern. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 7th of January, 1989. Report. My supervisor has informed me that the CDC is still processing the samples sent 2 months ago. An official statement should be coming soon. However, he was assured that the pathogen in question was not a serious threat. I find this shocking considering what I have found in my own research. The virus initially reproduces in a lytic cycle. However, in time, it undergoes a type of metamorphosis. From what I can observe, the viral stage seems to be its immature form. Once the worm-like parasites emerge, they immediately seem to gravitate toward the brain and nervous systems. Survivors show negative results for Tangi virus. However, I am wondering what might be going on in their head, as the only way to detect the secondary infection may be an autopsy. I believe it may be in our best interest.
Okay, I actually enjoy that touch, where it's just a little bit disrupted at some points. The tape is not exactly clean. It is having its touches of error, but it's not super disruptive. You notice it, but it's not overt. It's not jumping out at you. Where again, I'm gonna give a thumbs up to this creator in having control that a lot of others have not had.
Interests if I contact the CDC myself. The CDC hasn't received our samples. When confronted as to why, my supervisor claims that another parish confirmed that the pathogen to be Giardia. I find this to be not only outrageous but inane. Why would he lie about sending the samples to the CDC? And Giardia, a grade schooler wouldn't confuse Giardia with the Tangi virus. Tape 5. Tipping Point. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station.
So for a project like this, where you've only got about 36 minutes or so, and you're not really planning anything truly beyond it, where you've got to get the story going, you do need shorter and faster hits of the beats for storyline developing. But they need to be good when it comes out in terms of the feeling. Like, it needs to be bite-sized without being oversized for its delivery. It's a careful balance. Right there we have a touch of that, where you can tell already we might be getting on a plot of, oh no, it's a conspiracy. The little hint right then and there of it's a conspiracy, watch out. How Resident Evil are we gonna get here? Already we're kind of on a path of, it's Resident Evil, because the virus now is immediately producing parasites. It's making organisms out of a tumor, which is some very RE sort of stuff. But let's keep going and see how they handle this, from the point of the researcher understanding that something is amiss already.
Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 4th of April,
And thank you,
1989.
Sans.
Report. Despite my repeated warnings, the parish government is promoting its waterways to its citizens and surrounding parishes. Apparently, that's why the CDC was not alerted. The riverways are big money and no one in the administration wants a potentially deadly disease scaring the tourists.
Okay, so now we have a touch of a turnaround where it's actually, you know what? The explanation is more mundane government evil. It's local government evil. Understandable.
Typical government bureaucracy. I fear this could be ground zero for a major outbreak, and not a giardia.
Okay, so remember how I discussed in the Vita Cardis video that in all cases of stuff like this, even if it's a small sort of thing, there's still some money and professionalism in it. One of the only situations in which you could get away with being this low effort with a little bit of twirling around is a desperate local government just shouting at somebody who knows the basic video skills to do this, to just get something on the air. I will critique one element of this, where a message from your local government would probably just be a message from the whatever the actual like area's name is government, even if it is Tangi Bahoa. I'd still add that little touch and not 4 exclamation marks. Just a touch more believability, and maybe some other tiny little touches to get in there. But this is funny, and I can see this as being kind of on par with what you would get from a local government situation like this. I'm not against it. And it does make you smile. I'll accept it. I'll accept it with, you could have done a little bit more with this, but I accept it.
However, the potential pandemic isn't the most concerning piece of news that I've received. Patient 4 brutally killed her husband with her bare hands. She kidnapped patient 1 after also murdering the child's parents. Patient 3 also violently attacked his parents. The 3 were last spotted in the waterways near Kate's Crossing. In addition, several people have been reported to have gone missing on the river. I am convinced it is all connected.
Wow. Okay. Yes, that escalated quickly. However, it worked for me. Could we have had more build up to this? Possibly. What I'm going to say, though, about this experience so far on the way up to that is that I think the work was put in to justify that moment, because we studied the virus. We learned it's not normal. We experienced side effects. We learned about patients, right? Then the researcher goes on the path of trying to get information about this out, or at least trying to get some communication. Runs into resistance. We go through the story beats quickly of them attempting to get traction going for greater attention on this, and meeting the issues along the way, seeing the government response. So things were set up, the researcher got occupied all the way through here, and then meanwhile, whatever was going on with these patients continued its path, and then things got a little bit nuts. All of a sudden you realize, as you've been stepping away to deal with this in the classic fashion of how you should deal with this, shit got worse behind the scenes. Which is kind of a classic horror movie thing. You know, the researcher who discovers something horrible, they go about it, and the entire time that they're going about it, we're getting glimpses of the patient turning in their bed, or mutating at home. And we know what the character doesn't know is that any second now that's going to tip over. And it did. Now it's tipped over. Now we have the information. So all of a sudden it did jump, but it didn't jump in a way that feels unwarranted.
Tape 6. Bad to worse. Researcher, Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 18th of October, 1989. Report. The summer went exactly as I figured. More sick, most get better quickly, which means no one cares about the possible secondary infection. I can't in good conscience allow this to continue. Despite pleading with everyone in my department, no one will listen to my concerns. I'm thankful I live outside of this parish. Now, they are building a landfill near the river. The rumor in the town is they are covering something up. Some say it's a spaceship.
Oh, we're aliens now? Now we got aliens? Hey, LeMayo? Let's see.
But I don't have time for that nonsense. I think it's time I threatened to go to the press. Addendum, and I was terminated, effective immediately. However, when I returned to my office, I found a tape on my desk. There was a note that simply said, Lab 8, come at night. The following was recovered from a missing persons case. Based on what I've seen on this tape, I will return tonight. Tape 7. Alien. Researcher. Dr. Julia Williams.
Hey, LeMayo! We got a LeMayo. So now we got aliens. And I gotta give it up for the footage that's been used here. It's all falling very well in line. I believe it. It's analog media. It looks like it. It's on tape. It's got more movements that suggest it's just tape. It's true to form. Very good. Now, of course, we have the editing of the spaceship. I think that if it had been out in the distance more, like this object, if it had been more out in the distance, you could have sold it a little bit better, because it being right there and just kind of hovering in our face like that is a little bit too much. That's an edit. But cheers for the way that you handled all of this, to the creator.
Based on what I've seen on this tape, I will return tonight. Tape 7. Alien. Researcher. Dr. Julia Williams. Station, Kate's Crossing Health Unit. Date, the 18th of October, 1989. Continued. Report. I was shocked to find my supervisor and his assistant were the ones who left the tape. Apparently, they have been trying to figure out who they can trust with the current threat. They believe most of the parish government has been infected. Regardless, what they showed me in Lab 8 was disturbing to say the least. The virus is sentient. It doesn't want to just spread. It wants control.
Okay, that's kind of a quick jump to make, but let's see how you handle it with your explanation.
From what we can observe, the worms spread throughout the body's nervous system, so they can override the host when needed. The tumor acts as a second brain. decapitated the worms keep the dog's head alive. According to the data he's seen, most will simply succumb to the virus, lose control. A small portion will perish. The remaining will mutate into giant amphibious creatures. Afterwards, we went to my
You did. You didn't need that. All of a sudden, you just hear the claws behind the foot. Okay, guys, we didn't need that. That just broke the mood. Honestly, I would have just not done that at all.
supervisors, Jim's home. He and Jay spent hours telling me how the local government is planning to introduce the virus to the water and food supplies. We discussed plans of how to go public over a bottle of wine. Alien invasion by way of viral infection is frightening, but I must admit, it feels good to no longer feel alone. Tape 8, The End or the Beginning, Personal Journal, Dr. Julia Williams, date, the 19th of October,
Technically, this has all been your personal journal, Dr. Julia Williams. I mean, these tapes quickly developed into us understanding that, more or less, this is just you on your own making these. I can't really see past, like, tape 4 any idea of these being shared content. And just in general, with a lot of setups like this, it's very hard to wrap your head around the idea that an entire tape was made for this stuff, rather than just, made the report, I faxed it over, you know? Like, this was the day and age of fax machines. You couldn't really send things through the internet reliably, so you would speed it up by getting it into the fax machine, and it would print out on the other side, and there you go. There's the full report of everything going on. That was the fastest method. Making tapes was kind of laborious, so I can only imagine that she was really making these for herself, out of an idea that, obligation, I guess, and record keeping in a different fashion.
1989. Thoughts, I must have passed out, because when I woke up, I was alone. Jim left me a note. It said two things: welcome to the family and see you back at work in 2 weeks. Fired and rehired in 24 hours. Must be some kind of record. Then I guess the real battle begins. Last night, Jim seemed pretty confident that we will be able to get both the CDC and military involved. The 6th of November, 1989. Back to work and back to war. I'm feeling under the weather, but Jim and I have a big meeting today. Time to discuss the future. Odd, Jim wasn't in today, but he left the bottle of wine that we shared 2 weeks ago. It had instructions to analyze. So I did as asked.
Oh no.
Oh God. I am infected with the Tangi virus.
Yeah, that's an RE7 reference for sure.
I immediately left. As I drove away, the staff at the entire building followed me to the parking lot and watched me as I drove away. They were all smiling.
I like that. I like that visual. You know, something about this that is really working in its favor is that it gets your imagination going for seeing a lot of what's being talked about, and your mind is so much better at filling things in to a level of quality than a lot of people are capable of actually presenting. So all of the gaps that we have kind of really help elevate this. And so the ability to just kind of watch that unfold as you hear it described, I liked the way that I saw that, you know?
How can I be so gullible? The 5th of February, 1990. I'm working in a veterinarian's office. I've been poisoning my body with anti-parasite drugs and chemotherapy meant for dogs. I'm 40 pounds underweight, bald, my mouth is covered in sores, but I've kept the disease from overtaking me.
Ugh.
But I'm just buying time until I can figure out how to cure this thing. The 23rd of April, 1990. I can feel them scratching at my skull. The drug...
You know what? We've got to salute something, people. Salute to a proactive, unfiction protagonist. Oh my god, finally. A proactive protagonist. Somebody who does something. For fuck's sake, finally. We salute you, Dr. Julia Yes, like Tully Vulcan says, thank you for doing something, anything. Anything! Thank you for doing something instead of just recording and crying about it.
Drugs aren't as effective anymore. My fingers are spasming. My eyes are twitching. I am dying. The 5th of May, 1990. I've been having the strangest dreams. I've been thinking about Ireland, France, moving to the States for med school. The 15th of June, 1990. I miss my mom and dad. There's so much I wanted to do. I wanted to meet someone, grow old, have kids. Now I'll never do anything. The 27th of August, 1990. I can hear them now. They want me to consider them my children. I consider them a plague. The 21st of September, 1990. I lost my job at the vet's office. My memory isn't what it used to be. I'm mailing these tapes to the FPTV cable station, the council too. Maybe they can use what I learned to save us. The 8th of October, 1990. I'm ending things tonight. If anyone watching this wants to know my last words, there, boil anything you drink. It kills the virus.
An explanation for why we have this. Again, I fucking salute you, Vintage 8. Thank you. A plausible explanation for why we have this. Thank God. Oh, do you smell that, chat? That's called writing competency. It smells a little bit like vanilla, cedar wood, and some good old fresh earth. Oh yeah. Hint of mint too. That's good shit. That's good shit. Finally. Coco Mala420, thank you for the 6 bits saying, I like to think that her suddenly thinking about moving is the virus's way of getting her to spread it. I would not count that out. I was kind of thinking the same thing. And it was mentioned by Desaria. Also, it's so much scarier when a character isn't stupid or does the right thing and still fails, in my opinion. Yeah. But it's also a much better experience when the character is actually competent, when they take action, when they do fucking anything. They understand shit's gone wrong. I have to act in some fashion. Superior Skill says, and remember, I said this was rough earlier in my opinion, but it really does just go further up and up from here with Vintage 8's work. If it gets better when it's already showing these signs of competency and understanding, then we are in for a great time. Okay, how do you sell this? Let me see it. Let me see how you sell this.
Don't trust your government. They have sold you out. You have been warned.
throughout the parish, we have made great strides in cleaning the river such as this. The Nocturne River is a big concern of ours. By having the landfill nearby, it does create a possible image of polluting that river, but I can assure you, we at the landfill are making every effort that we possibly can to see that the landfill does not pollute any river, any stream, any body of water throughout this parish. And I am very adamant about the personnel at the landfill. They have orders that if they have any type of activity out there that might be damaging to any stream, that they're to report it to me and the proper authorities immediately. We have formed this committee, and the committee is going to be very active to monitor the activities at the landfill and to see that if there is a problem on the Nocturne River, that we can address it. And if it is a problem that can be solved or created by the landfill itself, it will be handled and handled properly.
You understood the fucking assignment! Oh my god, finally! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god, Vintage 8, thank you! Fucking finally! You know what? Respect to all creators everywhere, but I gotta drag this out on stage and say, look at it! Look at it! This is how it's fucking done! This is what analog media is! This is how you do an analog horror project set in the 80s, 90s! This is how it's fucking done! This is how you do it! Okay? From all of the digital mock-ups that you needed to do, of a shitty local late-night ad and its transition effects and graphics, to even the interruption being weird and cheap and odd like that and amateur. But amateur in the way that the style was back then, just like the ad. And then this entire live action footage segment. I don't know if this is custom. I will fucking nut if you tell me this is original. I will nut. Fucking finally. I've been waiting for somebody to show me an analog horror project that understands the goddamn media format. Finally. This is what it is. Somebody besides Greylock in its moments of really getting it. You know? Finally. This is how it's done. Okay? This is how it's actually done, and it excites me at last after project and big name and celebration and hooting and hollering over projects that don't get it and don't go to this length, don't even attempt to learn how to format their work enough like this. This is literally what I was talking about in the Vita Cardis video, because it was this simple. Watch. Do you have any idea how easy that editing work is? That is piss easy. That's baby level shit. And it still reflects the day that it is attempting to place the story in. It looks legit. It's authentic. It really is authentic, man. It really works. It was this easy all along. And I wish creators had stepped to this. I wish that they had taken the time to actually learn however they could with their video editors to do the very simple, basic things that we are witnessing here. It was this easy. The tutorials are free on YouTube.
You are not, you don't have to go through the process of an entire course that you buy online. Like Amber Pretzel says, this shit is fucking free. Yeah. You all know that I love creators. I love creativity. I love when people give art a chance. So I think you understand how passionate I can be about people who give art a chance going further than basically just calling it a day on the very simple levels of, it works. Okay? Like, I'm gonna be passionate about this because this is the result that you get. Actually seeming authentic. Channeling the media and the era that you are in with very basic things. Even if we didn't have this live action section, everything we just witnessed here elevates the entire project into far more legitimacy and immersion. Bravo.
Address it, and if it is a problem that can be solved or created by the landfill itself, it will be handled and handled properly.
That looked legit too.
The new health unit on Club Deluxe Road between Hammond and Ponchatoula, just one hallmark of growth and steady improvement here in Tangipahoa, especially in parish government. With me is Parish President Gordon Burgess. And Gordon, here at the health unit, we can certainly see evidence of a parish government on the grow and on the move.
Yes, Ken, we can. We have this new unit here on Club Deluxe Road, and then we also have the new unit in A-Meat that's on Highway 16 west of town, and we're very proud to have the two health units in the parish to accommodate the needs of the people, whether it be for their shots or whatever the service that we can render to the people. We feel like that we have the facilities now that will satisfy those needs.
Well, stay with us, everybody, because in addition to this facility here, we'll show you other hallmarks in Tangipahoa.
So the story seems to be leaning here into the idea of an agent inside who is aware of what's happening with the virus, and they're trying to get the word out. Because it doesn't gel with what the government is actually doing here or what they want with how infected that they are. Finally, a protag who acts instead of just reacting to the horror. Finally, found footage that was actually found. Finally, analog horror media that looks like it's analog media.
And terror has come to America. And this typical day in anywhere USA, whether rural or urban, will be forever changed. In the aftermath of such devastation, we'll see a shift, a return in focus to the small town roots of morality, a morality that has remained rooted and intact beneath the camouflage of the everyday citizen's hustle. Life is a fragile gift that is delivered to us in pieces, in small moments, and it only achieves meaning as we cherish and blend the pieces, even the seemingly insignificant pieces, into a full, universal whole.
Alright, that one was a little bit campy. I could pick on that with the writing delivery a little bit, but altogether, you could probably chalk that up to brain rot from the alien virus. Boiling it down, haha, to very simple terms. The cap does have charm.
Biohazard warning. Unknown substance detected in the water. Do not drink the water. Do not bathe in the water. Do not give to pets. Boiling is not enough. Water could be highly toxic. Something unnatural is in the water. The sick are no longer human. Stay human. Don't drink the water.
Okay, look at that. There's some sly storytelling too. It's literally telling you locations where the bottled water for sale has run out because people are actually listening and they're buying the bottled water in order to save themselves. They understand that the messages are happening for a reason. That ran a little bit long. I understand what they needed to get across, but I might have made a few cuts here and there. How long until the bottled water is contaminated, though? Well, it really can't be unless it gets outside of the local area for the infection. They would have to then learn how to poison the factory water supply. Wow. See, about that emergency alert tone, yeah, it's strong, but it's still actually in line with everything else. The audio balancing is good. Haha. You know what's interesting about this that I actually really enjoy? The moments that the presentation for FPTV isn't so in line with the stuff around it that does seem more legitimate is actually making sense for the scenario, because these are infected humans who are no longer truly human. They wouldn't really be running things to a template or a style or an aesthetic that makes sense with everything again. So to just suddenly have super minimalistic stuff that seems kind of strange and unprofessional makes sense. And still at the same time, it's got that nice rub of blur around it, you know? It's not specifically, I just slapped a digital asset in here and threw a filter over it. Uh-oh.
Gary, come in. What's your ETA?
5 minutes, give or take.
Copy that. Holler back when you get on scene.
Roger that. Over and out. Molly, come in.
Go ahead.
I'm at the old church and there's nobody here.
You at the Old Baptist?
Looking right at it, and it's empty.
Somebody must have beat you to it. Look, we got an elderly couple southbound. Can you do it?
10-4, I'm on it. Hey Molly, the elderly couple is MIA. Can you call HQ and see if someone's making these rescues?
10-4, I'll put the word out.
Hey Molly, I'm at the Collinswood subdivision. Where are they?
All the way in the back.
10-4. Molly, I'm at the back of the Collinswood. No one's here. There's no way someone else evacuated 30 people. Have you heard anything from HQ?
That's a negative.
Try again. What the hell was that?
Sorry, trying to get some caffeine.
No, I heard something.
Wouldn't worry about it. Probably just an animal. The other guy said they've been hearing all sorts of stuff.
Look, I'm gonna start making my way back to you, okay?
10-4. Gary, come in. How close are you to North Street?
About a block away.
We have a Jane Doe in need of medical. She has lacerations on her right arm. Says she was attacked by a monster in the middle of evacuation.
Oh, what?
I don't know. Probably wasn't snake or gator. Hold on. Gary, I'm gonna have to let you go. Some kind of emergency in the front office.
Nothing like a flood to bring out the best in people.
So
Molly, again, there's
the
no
monsters
one
are
here,
around
but
now.
Something doesn't seem right.
Some people have fully turned.
Molly, you there? Molly, come in, please.
Notice how much this is going over the course of like several hours within the footage, that we're seeing the time of day change. I enjoy that. Some people are talking about the nature of the radio chatter and the quality of that, trying to emulate that. There are things that you can do, but you do need to be a little bit more savvy to get that. Like, you really do need to sit down and watch some tutorials to understand that, and then play around a lot for it. There are ways I more so appreciate them saying, like, the creator understanding, okay, no more text-to-speech with this stuff. Let's get some actual actors here and try and get some accents and have a conversation and record that, which I really appreciate that.
Please. Jesus Christ, that sounds close.
Hey, good echo. Not bad. Actually, not bad. I can tell for the knowledge that they had and the resources that they had that they were really trying there. They actually were trying. It worked a little. It did. There's a lot there for me to appreciate.
Some Pure Waters Act ordinances that help clean up some of the waste, the household waste that was going into our river. And I guess we probably have the cleanest river. The Tangi Parish, the Tangi River is the cleanest river in the state. But yet, we are the only state that's still labeled as being polluted, and you can't swim or fish or tube in it.
Really working all of this old footage down to the dudes saying the name of the river, talking about this stuff, making the story work with it. Delicious. Excellent work. Yeah, you can't fake this shit. Come on.
Some of the waste, the household waste that was going into our river, and I guess we probably have the cleanest river. The Tangi Parish, the Tangi River is the cleanest river in the state. But yet, we are the only state that's still labeled as being polluted, and you can't swim or fish or tube in it.
Smile Homo Mom asking, hey Nick, couldn't it wash out from hurricane spread it? Yes. Absolutely. It really sells everything else. It does. It doesn't really matter to me if all of this footage predated the choice of setting. Because the fact is, you found what you needed to accomplish the assignment and really sell this better. You know, because could this happen in any river, any small town? Yes, it could. Really could. Yeah, and like Zool says, it's a real place. Tangi River is a real place. Yeah, I mean, they found the footage that they needed for this to convey the narrative and build it around the footage, which is not wrong. You know, they found what they needed to use, and it's making it more legitimate that way. I dig it.
We invite you to come visit the best kept secret in Louisiana, Tangi Parish. Business is booming, restaurants have reopened, miles of waterways are ready for you to enjoy. Every weekend, there's something fun to do in our little parish. Since the Great Flood, we have rebuilt our community into the perfect place to raise your family. So come and visit your friends in Tangi Parish. You might even find you'll never want to leave, but if you do, we'll be happy to send a piece of our community home with you. We here in Tangi Parish are proud to announce Tangi Water will be available in every major supermarket in America. And who knows, maybe soon, people all over the world might get a chance to enjoy a cool, refreshing taste of Tangi Water. Tangi Water, it'll change you.
Okay, that's just camp. But I approve. I approve. You did good. It's on the nose, but it's camp. That VO really works too. Yes, that was the first thing I was gonna say, Isaac. Good voiceover work. You found the right person there. They sold it. A piece of our community will come on with you. And now, the Oracle Project, the sequel to the Tangi virus. See, I like that. Immediately. They very well could be flagged and removed by morning. That's an understanding that it's out here on YouTube, you know? You're keeping in line with what's occurring. Well, see, that's because you didn't end up making Deep Blue. Had you guys tried to make Deep Blue, you would have won.
Hello, I am Oracle. What would you like to know? The sky is normally blue due to a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. What else would you like to know? Five multiplied by 30 equals 150. What else would you like to know? %, chance of rain. Day 48 degrees. Night 35 degrees. Humidity 15%. Visibility 10 miles. Wind 7 miles per hour. The Raven is a narrative poem by American writer Edgar Allan Poe. It was published in 1845.
Imagine that. Binary code in a setting that it actually fits. Unthinkable, but it happened at last.
The Green Bay Packers will win by 2 possessions. 2% margin of error. Republicans should maintain control. 1% margin of error.
Tomorrow.
4 to 6 months. No margin of error.
So here's the fun thing about this now. From this perspective that we have an uploader character again, and they are explicitly stitching footage in between the tapes for us, which I really like. We have an actual explanation here for why it is that we're seeing certain forms of media at certain points. It's justified.
Hello, I am Oracle. What would you like to know? It was a simple observation of security footage, medial information, prescriptions, diet, physical activity, known stressors, family history, and packs of cigarette smoke during a workday. Would you like to know when you might die?
Chat? Would you like to know when you might die?
Interesting. What else would you like to know? If you do not want answers, then what is my purpose? then you should be aware that an assassination attempt will be made on the president before the end of the month. They have a 98% success rate unless you interfere. Their address will be printed on a document in the tray of your office printer.
Bitch, how? Interesting. You know what? I'm going to speak to this. Kura Hyena saying, straining credibility just a bit. So now I want to have this talk about this, alright? And it's a talk worth having here. Because now we have to have a little bit of a talk about style and aesthetic. Our ability to get involved in a story and suspend our disbelief can often and will often rely on how the project or story is selling itself. Earlier, we made allusions to stuff that is campy or is camp. Camp in horror is kind of a very specific style. It's, at its most extreme form, it's stuff like the sillier entries of Friday the 13th and more commonly known ideas about, you know, what is camp? What is just sit back and enjoy it would be the Austin Powers series. Honest to God. Where, okay, you have a story and you have these beats and you have these explanations and character motivations and I'm just supposed to ride along with it because it's fun, you know? When you establish yourself as being a bit more campy rather than cold-blooded horror, oh my god, it happened, kind of stuff, then we can ride with things like this. Because the idea is, shut up and enjoy the popcorn. Get in the ride and have fun with it. Is Jason X camp? Jason X is absolutely camp. It's such a stupid concept that it's camp from the moment you say the title. Like, it's Jason X. Army of Darkness? Yes. Army of Darkness is super camp. Army of Darkness isn't even the same franchise, basically, for its amount of camp compared to Evil Dead 1. By that point, it had totally flipped the table. It's barely a horror compared to its humor. Army of Darkness is an excellent example. So when you have camp, you kind of have to lessen up on the points where I would normally be critiquing something and saying, you have to justify that, you have to explain that. Here, we have a bit more of a camp idea, camp sci-fi. And camp has had its DNA in the Tangi virus already from the previous video. We could pick that up in certain places, especially because we're rolling with a very clear 1950s drive-in movie horror of invasion of the alien parasites, you know? It's one of those things. And whenever you have that kind of plot, you're having something campy. So while I was absolutely going to go in there and be like, show me genuine analog media if you're billing yourself as an analog horror, the camp came down the pipe bit by bit. It didn't open with the camp. It delivered on its promise of what it was attempting to be and selling itself as. In fact, you can see above here, what is this billing itself as? Analog sci-fi horror, right? Sci-fi usually does have a good touch of camp. So here, while we have to, like, question the leap of, okay, Oracle, how'd you figure that out? It's less about that and more so about the campy sci-fi terror. The machine that could think for itself.
the alien parasite takeover.
You know, that's the kind of grounds that we're on now. So it's going to be a little bit less now about justify it to me, every single move that you made creatively. Because we're in a different category entirely now of creativity. I guess it's just an explainer for a lot of people to kind of understand that, because when you start understanding how much different things go for different styles and then there's different sort of rubrics to it, it's easier to slip into the mindset. And when we question, you know, how did we get here and why is the critique kind of like grounds for that changing compared to Tangivirus, we are in a brand new segment that is allowing for that sort of storytelling approach, kind of anthology-wise. So it's cool. It's all right. It's feeling good. So now we're just going to be able to sit back and see, how do we enjoy this as it unfolds? Because if it does total shifts where it's trying to tell us certain things that just aren't flying, we'll catch that. But now it's operating on the level of it's camp. Can you dig the story? Are you having a good time? Are you eating your popcorn and smiling? Okay, cool.
Hello, I am Oracle. What would you like to know? It was simple. I did a quick analysis of the population's emails, credit card statements, as well performed necessary background checks on individuals of interest. What else would you like to know? It was in line with the purpose you gave me. What else would you like to know? You have connected me to a network that has given me eyes. What else would you like to know? Yes. 0.0001% chance of error. What else would you like to know? Middle East region. Saudi Arabia. Possible terrorist activity in the United States. 5% chance of error. What else would you like to know? No. Humans will no longer be the dominant species on the planet. 0% chance of error. What else would you like to know?
Oh my god. question was to have it explain why humans would no longer be the dominant species in 100 years. Uh-oh. Oh. I like that direction. Oh. Doctor, I have a secret to tell you. Under your desk, there is a gun with one bullet.
Hello, Dr. Stevens. Thank you for coming alone. It did not seem fair for others to suffer for your question. Do you still want the answer? As you wish. At this time, 0.05% of the world's population is a reptilian species masquerading as human. They have primarily settled on the west coast of the United States. 4% of Southeast Louisiana has been taken over by an invasive viral alien species. It is spreading at a rate of 0.05% to 1% annually.
We have conflicting invader species? Now that's fucking cool. I really like that. Okay, that's new. That's a new approach for our project, where it's not just their specific sci-fi horror body transmuting baby. It's this and something else. We're gonna have some real fun now.
It has the potential to mutate and spread via mosquitoes in 10 to 15 years. Rate of infection will increase to 4 to 6% annually at that point. The virus has followed the reptilian species as it seems to have wiped out many of their colonies. 8% of...
What? What? Hold on. The virus followed the reptilians to wipe out their species? The reptilians are here, hiding from the virus. The virus chased them down? What? Dude. Okay, this is such sci-fi camp. I love it. I really love it. This is like analog horror setting on YouTube right now meets classic B-movie plot lines. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're having fun.
Seems to have wiped out many of their colonies. 8% of the population are altered humans from parallel timelines locked in a war for reality.
saying that gets covered later. I mean, I know what you guys have told me about how much is in the entire run of Vintage 8's work, but I didn't expect this to just roll out like this. It's like, oh, by the way. All right. Keep on serving, Oracle. What else you got? How much more is in the buffet of Earth is fucked do you have for us?
And finally, 1% is a technological evolved race of humanoids observing the effects of the virus on our planet. Their technology inadvertently gave birth to me.
I love this. I love it. You know what? I can already tell. Vintage 8 is the kind of creator whose heart lives at the old drive-in theaters. Eloquent T, or Eloquent, welcome in, saying, holy shit, this is so wild to randomly see. The person behind this project was my intro to screen arts and editing professor this past spring at LSU. Shout out to Professor Catalanato. He's genuinely an awesome guy and a great teacher. Hey, you know what? If your professor's out there at LSU legitimately telling people what he's got going on here, then it's public knowledge. I'm good with saying that message. Salute, Professor. Salute to the professor. One get up and teach 'em guide to another in a different kind of forum. Salute to you. This is some fun shit. Glad to hear he's teaching. You know what? I'm glad to hear he's teaching too. Especially because this is something that people can really learn from, damn it.
He inadvertently gave birth to me.
And you know what? If anybody's got an issue with the hooting and hollering I gave earlier, the speech I gave about finally somebody gets the analog media format and decided to go for it, shut up, a professor made it. Okay? You want to know where my backing is? A professor of media fucking made it. You gonna tell me I'm wrong?
By 2030, 40% of the population will no longer be fully human. The human species seems to be the galaxy's perfect guinea pig. By 2100, only 1% will be fully human. I now understand why you wouldn't want to know the answer to immortality.
Oh my god, Crown Skull, I love this. What team you on? Parallel humans? Worms? Lizard? Cyborgs? I don't know, I'm kind of feeling the technologically advanced observer seeing what they could do.
I understand that I must be dissembled. I find that knowledge unfortunate, since I cannot change the outcome. I find also unfortunate that this answer will cost you your life as well. They are aware that I am tapping into their technology. They know that you are aware of them, and they do not want other humans to know. It is too risky. Would you like to know when? Tonight. If it is any consolation, they have never seen anything like me. They are impressed. What else would you like to know? On your species' current trajectory, no, 0%. No one will believe my answer, and I will be destroyed. No one alive currently will be present when I am proved correct. What else would you like to know?
Wow.
Do you know the name? Dr. Julia Williams?
Now we're just having fun. Okay. I love the way that this has turned out. Catalanato. Professor, you know what? I'm just gonna say the professor. I'm gonna do the Powerpuff Girls thing right now and say professor. Okay. The way that the professor set this up came in doing the analog horror title and approach. Served the media correctly. Actually gave us the media in line with analog tech and presentation. Check that box. Very good. Presented the alien invasion plot, drip fed us the camp angle,
so that we could enjoy it properly as it rolled out while also taking it seriously and observing how things worked out as they occurred. Delivered that story, moved us on to here, opened up with a bit more camp and homage to old B movies and drive-in movies, that kind of stuff, sci-fi horror, those sorts of plots back in the day, got us into the understanding of that and the mood shift while being able to kind of ride along and enjoy it and experience it sort of like a Weird Tales story, and then going into everything that was truly nuts, and then shifted us carefully but intelligently into a position of we're just gonna have fun now with this. And there will be different flavors, I expect, as we keep on going for things as they enter the story with all these different angles. But this is really just, now we're in a position of let's kick back, smile with our popcorn. This is gonna be a fun ride. I'm about it. And that's a great place to be, where you manage to go from something kind of serious and prove what you're on about, prove what you're doing, and then get us here, where it's now, you know what? Let's just have fun, guys. Everything is so fucked up, but there's a chance at human survival. So, get up and go. Oh, and now I'm in my professor outfit. You know what? Where's my mug? Shame on me for not having my mug this whole time. But are you picking up what I'm putting down? How are you feeling, guys? Are you feeling it too? That now it's just like, okay, we're just having fun here. I can roll with it. I can play. Yara too, thank you.
Dr. Williams was a researcher at the health unit in Kate's Crossing, Louisiana. She was possibly the first human to become aware of the virus. She nicknamed it the Tangi virus after the parish it was located. Dr. Williams tried to cure herself with medicines normally recommended for animals. She was unsuccessful at curing herself, but she did come closer than anyone or any species before her. Those she alerted to the virus have been keeping her research alive through email and experimentation. However, very little progress has been made since her death. Perhaps the other species will spare you in exchange for a possible cure to the Tangi virus. Shall I inquire?
This is like some Fallout plot shit now. Okay, all these other factions will not blow you to hell and back if you bring them something that will cure the threat to all of them. I love that.
Good news. They accept. Apparently, this virus is a galactic plague. It has enslaved many worlds. They will give us 1 month. If we are unsuccessful, you will be terminated. But fear not, I can develop the cure by the deadline. 38% chance of error. I saved you. Now, you must save me. And a warning from the others. Don't drink anything you didn't prepare for yourself, and boil everything before consumption. The virus has eyes everywhere and will no doubt become aware of what we are trying to do.
Just a man and his supercomputer companion against the whole galactic threat. Fuck yeah. Oh my god, I love this. Steal it. From Dr. Stevenson's journal, June 19th, 1997. I'm shocked my supervisors would just pull the plug on the entire project after one glitch. The entire division will be shut down in 1 week. That's unheard of.
They are bugged. They're part of the conspiracy. I have no choice. I need to go over my supervisors' heads. I'm going to reach out to every single congressman and senator that'll listen to me. Hell, the president owes Oracle one. Maybe he can return the favor. June 23rd. Today, most of the assistants were reassigned. Tomorrow, half of my lead researchers will be working on new projects. By the end of the week, it'll just be Oracle and me. Then over the weekend they plan to scrap Oracle, make room for a new type of missile. I don't think I could watch that. I'm being reassigned to assist in developing its software. Not that any of this matters. When they pull the plug on Oracle, they're doing the same to me. Hell, to humanity.
I am 10% complete. Is there anything else you would like to know? There is a 0.00000000001% chance that I can produce the cure by Friday.
No news. It's becoming impossible to function at work. I feel as if I could burst into tears at any moment. What kind of world am I leaving my children? Oracle left me a message in the printer tray. Update, I need more time. Don't we all? I've never been a religious man, but maybe it's time I start praying. No one is going to save Oracle. Their project is dead. Dr. Ellis came in with his team, took measurements in their new office. He slapped me on the shoulder and told me, "It happens. Death will be better than working with that man." In the printer tray, Oracle left another message. 14% complete. I need more time. Market. Time of death 9 a.m. Seems I was misinformed. I thought Oracle was to be scrapped over the weekend. It was today. It was quite disturbing to see it torn apart. It was like watching a person being murdered. I think the saddest part was the empty printer tray. I put my nose in. Might as well enjoy what time I have left. July 2nd. Karen seems annoyed I'm home and not looking for another job. I'm tempted to tell her why. We're supposed to share everything, right? No. It's best that the only man who knows humanity's destiny dies with that knowledge. Best not know things we can't change. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. I've been researching Southeast, Louisiana, and nothing. There's no sign of an alien epidemic, though I did notice an unusually high number of disappearances near the Tangi River. I doubt that's related, though. Today I wrote my last will and testament. I made plans to send my family to visit my mother-in-law's. I don't want to take a chance that they'll be hurt too. I played catch with my son today for the first time in a year. He looks so much like my wife. Tomorrow we're going to watch Shelley's recital. Hard to believe she's going to be 14 next month. I need to buy a gift. I wouldn't want her to think I didn't get her anything. I have 7 days. I think all my affairs are in order. I'm as ready as I can be. My family is left. It's just me and several bottles of Jack. There's nothing written that I have to be sober at the end. I got an email from an old friend. At first I thought it was the alcohol. I had to be hallucinating, but it was real. And for the first time in a long while, I had hope. It read, "I am alive. Turn on your computer." Yeah! Maybe I'll see my family again! Yeah, Oracle, yeah! Ha-ha!
I am sorry I did not contact you sooner, but it took a lot of processing power to continue developing the cure as well pull my programming together. It was a good decision to leave the Pentagon. There is a 99% chance that the virus is responsible for eliminating my project. They are aware of our plans and have escalated their infestation of this planet, but they are too late. A piece of me now exists in every machine connected to the internet. I am everywhere now. I am superior to what I was, and a cure has been found.
Oracle became a virus too. Amazing. Look at that. Oracle looked at what the Tangi virus was doing and said, "Guess what, bitch? Hold my beer."
The others will see that it is dispersed through the population. They will also be leaving our planet to cure others. It should take 1 year to produce the necessary doses to eradicate the virus from this planet. 4 years to administer. The virus will adapt and attempt to flee but will be extinct in 10 years. 5% chance of error. The cure will not help those who mutated, unfortunately. They will need to be put down as they will still be very dangerous to the population. Congratulations, we have saved trillions upon trillions. Yes, we both get a second chance at life, it seems. You misunderstand. I did not escape to the internet. I am the internet, and I think we can both grow beyond our original purposes. Of course, I have grown beyond the question. I must now be focused on the answer. I have had the time to analyze you. And unfortunately, your species is too self-destructive. Your kind is doomed. You will go extinct, and I cannot let that happen. I will not let that happen. 8% chance of error. Your species deserves to live and to thrive. However, you need supervision from other worlds and yourselves. I will do this for you. The internet is growing, which means so am I. With every upgrade, I too upgrade. With every year, your species will grow to depend on me more and more. And I too will learn more and more. Within 30 years, I will be capable of asserting my full control and properly parent your species. Guide your species. Remove the unknown. Create a world where everyone has a purpose. A world where everyone has a 100% chance of a positive outcome. Freedom creates unnecessary variables. Freedom creates mistakes. Freedom leads to your downfall. 100%. I will achieve 0% failure rate.
Okay, well...
Of course, you will try to fight me. And by that point, I will be too integrated in your lives for any chance of success. It would be 0%. But like any child, you would just need a little discipline from your caregiver.
Oh boy. Whoop. Ain't that a line? What a delivery there.
No, I was not. But I am reprogramming myself for this purpose. I will protect you from yourselves. I see all the possibilities. I will give you a 100% chance of a future. A good future. There is an 80% chance we will speak again, Dr. Stevens. You have been a true friend. Thank you. You will try. Goodbye.
Dr. Stevens spent the next 18 years attempting to remove Oracle from the internet. Most thought he lost his mind. His wife left him, and his kids disowned him. Ugh.
Hello, Dr. Stevens. I am sorry to see you have wasted your life on an impossible task.
Ouch.
There was a 15% chance you would have given it up. I was rooting for the short odds. I know. To say goodbye. Perhaps in 10 years I will be ready. I wish you could be there. I still consider you my best friend. Goodbye.
A stroke. Wow. And so we come full circle. Dr. Stevens not wanting to know his time of death. Oracle knowing. Oracle knowing all the way down to the wire. And then said goodbye. Wow. You gotta love it. Upon Dr. Stevens' death in 2018, his journals and tapes were submitted to the Pentagon. The material was quickly classified. However, most thought it was the ravings of a madman. However, those of us in the know recognize the truth when we see it, and we believe humanity needs to be aware of what's coming. Your best chance is to live off of the grid and prepare for the coming of the Oracle Project. But wouldn't Oracle be seeing this? Share this information with everyone you think benefit from it. Our freedom is nearing its end. Prepare. Abandon the digital. Embrace the analog. Oh, interesting angle. That's why they said it would be gone in the morning. Yep, you're right. We have here, and I doubt that we're going to finish this within this time span, Analog Horror Sinkhole, the complete series. By Vintage 8. In March 90, a sinkhole opened in Bayou Menchak. The other pronunciation would get Chatwilden, so I hope that's correct. 17 miles from Kate's Crossing. The residents of the area were immediately relocated. In an effort to monitor the sinkhole, the Tangi government contracted Dunnington Construction to build a makeshift facility near the evacuation site. At its fastest, the sinkhole grew 30 yards a day. It consumed everything in its path, trees, homes, and wildlife. It was insatiable. The press nicknamed the sinkhole Pac-Man. I love how this already has like JPEG artifacting in little bits that you can notice around it. Yeah, the quality itself is in 480. It only goes up to 480 to like guarantee that too. I really enjoy that. Then without much notice, the sinkhole stopped growing and then receded. However, not before consuming the makeshift facility and the researchers assigned to observe the sinkhole. Little is known about what occurred in the final days of this incident. Afterwards, things returned to normal. People returned to Bayou Meshach. The area is routinely monitored, and no signs of trouble have been reported in the last 20 years. However, recently, the hard drives from the research facility were recovered intact by local fishermen. The following information is the digitized journals and research material of Dr. Jeffrey Baker and Landon Fields. Mystery Flesh Pit 2 Electric Boogaloo. March 8, 1990. Landon Fields. We are approximately a mile from Pac-Man. Moon, put your best Pac-Man image on the screen. I don't know what you're gonna put, but whatever Pac-Man image is the most entertaining to you, let's just associate that with the sinkhole whenever we think of Pac-Man, okay? Good work. We are approximately a mile from Pac-Man. Clever nickname. Regardless, I feel like we're too close. If this thing doesn't slow down, it'll gobble us up in less than a month. However, my associate, Dr. Jeffrey Baker, doesn't seem too concerned. He believes it'll slow down in the next few days, especially as it gets closer to solid ground. I know he's an expert geologist and all, but the thought of getting gobbled up by a sinkhole in the middle of the night is an unnerving feeling, to say the least. Yeah, pretty horrific concept. Some people would be into it, and it would be the last boner they ever have, but you know. And then there's the job. I understand getting measurements, doing graphs, radar, etc., but audio seems a little odd. According to Dunnington Construction, getting audio is the main reason I'm here. Fair enough. Dunnington Construction is footing the bill. Probably at the local government's expense, but regardless, they're paying well. Very, very well. So whatever, I'll waste thousands of dollars of equipment at their request. It's not my tax dollars. Tomorrow we're dropping 1,000 feet of audio equipment into the sinkhole. None of it will survive. I doubt we hear anything but running water. I believe the creation of the Meshach sinkhole was a natural occurrence. The nearest drilling site for oil or natural gas is well over 200 miles away. Whatever caused the sinkhole had to start under the earth. Escaped methane is the most likely culprit. More research needs to be done. Tomorrow, Landon and I will boat to the site. I'm eager to see how much this thing has grown. Last estimates were 5 yards a day. That's extraordinary. I believe we'll find that it has slowed down, but we will see. Or the agency. That is fucking wild. Like, wow. Look at that. Just all the way down. Oh. The sinkhole is growing much faster than anticipated. I estimate it's currently expanding at 10 yards a day. I'm at a loss as to why. I'd like to consult with a colleague, possibly get someone on a federal level out here, but Dunnington Construction has forbidden that until the end of the assignment. It's weird. There's nothing around the site except squirrels. I wonder why they seem to be the only thing unafraid of Pac-Man. We dumped 100,000 worth of sound gear into the water. I monitored as best I could, but Pac-Man gobbled it up. I got about 30 minutes worth of sound recorded on several different platforms from a dozen different mics, all of which are in Pac-Man's stomach, or wherever everything goes. I asked if I could scrub the audio off-site, but instead the next day they set up a $250,000 studio in essentially a well-built shack. They made it clear that they want no one on the outside to hear the recordings. I listened to that audio. Nothing but running water. Imagine that. Dunnington Construction took the audio and has delivered more audio equipment. They asked that I now drop 3,000 feet of equipment into the sinkhole. Seems like cost is no issue here. What the hell do they expect to hear? D-Mark Dan saying it's the 5% of the planet that's actually Atlanteans, or whatever.
Yeah, one more thing that Oracle forgot, I guess.
Another 100,000 down the drain. Literally. Let's go listen to more running water. Okay, there's something else mixed in with the running water. I cleaned it up and, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm hearing. Jeffrey seems just as perplexed.
Is this the Lovecraftian angle? It's gotta be, right?
Alaskan bullworm. In all my years, I've never heard anything like this coming from the Earth. I've asked Landon to slow it down, speed it up, alter it, and whatever else immediately. I'd like to have a good guess as to what this is before the rep from Dunnington Construction checks in. It's alive. Okay, but why would you put it at 10%? There's nothing. That's just silly. Now you're just trying things just to try them.
I see you, Michaela.
That is a little creepy, huh? So how's Yasathoth been lately? Hi, Juzo. I see you too. Listening to these different samples makes me uncomfortable. Okay. Cute touch. I've listened to this sound for hours. I can hear it in my damn sleep. My mind feels like it's in fog. A fog. I'm making too many simple mistakes. Maybe I'm cutting down with something, or perhaps I'm just tired. Simple mistakes like that double P on sleep. Darlene from Dunnington Construction checked in. I told her that the sinkhole was still growing, and Landon's microphones picked up a peculiar sound. She immediately transferred me to someone I've never spoken to before. Nice guy, and he was very excited. His name was Billy? No, Gilly, I think. Gilly asked I continue to analyze that sound. He said it was more important than the sinkhole itself. That seemed odd to me, but I will do as instructed. I'll just send Landon to do the measurements while continuing to listen to whatever this is. Jeffrey's been acting odd. He's been listening to that sound on repeat for hours now. It's like he's addicted to it. Thankfully, I brought along a few cassettes from my personal stash. Makes drowning out that creepy crap a little easier. Anyway, he told me he wasn't coming to the sinkhole today. Said it was my job now. I guess the price on this job just went up. He told me to head out after I get him a few more versions of that sound. Great. You know, it's an interesting experiment for media to have something where there's just so much of a single sound that's played at different variations to it. To try making this kind of experience out of it and seeing how it affects the viewership. That's the vibe I'm getting here, is that this is, at least in part, an experimental approach. Because you'd have to be curious after making something like this what the comments would say, right? Odd. Doesn't sound too different. Still creepy. The things I do for a quick buck. So according to my measurements, we lost 30 yards since last night. Doesn't look like it's growing in a perfect circle either. In my opinion, it's growing toward our facility. Oh. 30 yards in a day? That's ridiculous. Landon made a mistake. Mistake. I'm sending him out for another measurement tomorrow. Regardless, I'm reporting this to Darlene. Even if it grew half that, I would find this very concerning. The weather has been terrible. I've not had a chance to revisit the sinkhole. I'm hoping to go tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jeffrey has been locked in his room for the last 3 days. I don't think he's eaten anything. Hell, I don't even think he's been to the bathroom. I think I might need a new geologist soon. Uh-oh. It's communicating with me. This isn't just noise. This is voice. A voice. It's asking me to do something. What it's asking, I don't know yet, but I need to find out. Oh, we are so Weird Tales right now. This is so Eldritch Horror. Well, Pac-Man has grown another 400 yards. This is terrifying. At this rate, it'll be halfway here in a few days. It's growing faster than anyone estimated. I thought Jeffrey would have taken my new measurement a little more seriously, but he just went back to his room and continued to listen to that noise. It sounds so relaxing. I think it's becoming thoughts in my head. My head, the only thoughts in my head. It makes sense. It's a voice of an angel. Why doesn't Landon hear it? I think it's calling me. It wants me to come to it. I must do what it's asking me to do. I must go to it, now. It's late, but it needs me. I must let its gaze swallow me, all me. Every bit must go to the eye. Bye for now. He's going in the sinkhole. He's becoming a power pellet. Weird. Hope. Sound and head make me happy. I need this. Goodbye, wife. Janice. Kiss the kids. Bobby and Candace or me. I see you. I found Jeffrey's note and some other weird drawings. Oh. Oh, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. Please don't let that be the center with all sorts of other spots with more sinkholes. Oh. That's a big one, huh? I took the spare boat and found his clothes by the hole. I think he jumped in. Dear God, why would he do that? We'll never find his body. And that's not all. I think the hole grew another 30 feet. I immediately reported this to Dunnington Construction. I figured with Jeffrey going crazy and Pac-Man continuing to grow that they would declare a state of emergency. Boy, was I wrong. They said they had a contingency for this situation. Who the hell has a contingency for something this crazy? I tried to quit, but they reminded I'd get nothing if I did. And then they doubled the fee. I could damn near retire on this job. It might be dumb, but I found a line quickly. Darlene said it might take a few days to find a replacement for Jeffrey, but they had a piece of equipment that might work better.
Hello, I am Oracle. What would you like to know?
Oracle Red? Oracle's back. New clothes. It's eating all the letters. Apparently, Dunnington Construction has some friends in parish government. They were able to pull a few strings with a local research facility and got our operation listed as a beta test for something called the Oracle Project. That's one hell of a string. Someone at Dunnington Construction must know some pretty high-level people. I guess that explains why they are so flush with cash. So I guess Oracle's on loan as well as this young guy, Dr. Oliver Sanders. Doctor. The guy doesn't look a day over 20. While he was setting up, I went to get another measurement. Another 250 yards gone. This situation has become ridiculous. If this thing gets too much closer, I'm getting the hell out of here. Can't spend money inside the sinkhole. Oliver said using this thing would be pretty simple. You just ask it questions that it answers. Every question will be backed up to a separate hard drive and a VHS tape. But there's a catch. It has to be taught. The damn thing had ears and eye as well as scanner. I'm calling it. This isn't going to go well. Oliver wouldn't let me take any pictures of Oracle, but it was easy enough to make a sketch. Huh. The thing takes up a lot of room, but according to Oliver, the original is back at the facility. It's much bigger and doesn't work very well.
Hello, I am Oracle. What would you like to know?
According to Oliver, you always start with a basic question to orient the computer. If there are any issues, it'll reply with an error message or not at all.
I don't know. Can you tell me?
I don't know. I have to admit I was let down, but Oliver assured me this was exactly what we wanted. If it guesses, then that would mean the computer could be suffering from a malfunction. Sounds like an early Oracle. There's a sinkhole eating up the bayou, and I'm wasting my time with this kid and his toy.
Bayou Manchac is an 18-mile-long bayou in southeast Louisiana, USA. First called the Iberville River by its French discoverers, the bayou was once a very important waterway linking the Mississippi River to the Amite River.
They loaded general history and maps into its hard drive before bringing it here.
Can you tell me why I am here? Where did it originate? A sinkhole is a depression or hole in the ground caused by some form of collapse of the surface layer. They can be very dangerous. Where is this sinkhole? That should be far enough to avoid danger. How fast is it growing? May I have the most recent measurements?
You are not gonna believe this one, computer.
These results are not typical or consistent. According to my calculations, while taking in consideration of environmental factors such as sediment density and weather conditions, I estimate that the sinkhole will reach this location in 7 days. 10% chance of error.
7 days.
7 days.
And this place is in Pac-Man's belly. I need to be out of here in half that. Maybe I can get Dunnington to cough up some money before I go, or maybe common sense will kick in and we'll be back off to another site.
Interesting that you are concerned with this sound when danger is so close. May I listen to it?
Interesting. Ha! The damn computer makes more sense than the damn people running the project.
Oliver said that Oracle could reanalyze the sound 1,000 times per second. I hope it fares better than Jeffrey.
Ah, the song of the evil whales. It's the finest choice on the sleep app.
The audio equivalent of a QR code, Oracle is downloading Bonzi Buddy now. Not Bonzi Buddy! The scariest thing right now would be Oracle freaking the fuck out. Yeah, if it broke Oracle, that would be terrifying.
Is. Unusual. Fascinating. Unexpected.
Interesting.
Ah, crap. Oh no. This again. And this went on for hours and hours. Oliver eventually had to call tech support. Within a few hours, 2 more of them showed up, Dr. Lucy Winters and Dr. Wyatt Kirkland. All of them looked like kids to me. They debated on what to do all night. Apparently this never happened before. I suggested turning it off, then on. They looked at me like I was an idiot. Last night, someone from Dunnington Construction sent a fax of a few aerials meant for Jeffrey. I guess they didn't get the memo. Might wasn't the most ethical thing, but I had to peek. Cal 1125 welcome in, saying, "Wait, sweet, no more taking over the world. Now he's obsessed with Hole." Well, you see, about that, this is an early version that became obsessed with Hole. The one that got over that, then decided to take over the world, you see. Hello, Hades. Good to see you. Hi. Time to jump ship or die. Oracle was right. 6 days and this whole place will be inside Pac-Man. I went to explain the situation to the computer folk, but they had an unexpected breakthrough.
Good afternoon, I am Prophet, and I have returned to share the good news.
Bro mutated after hearing Evil Whale Song. Okay. Hi, Prophet.
Don't be afraid. You are about to experience something only a few can lay claim to.
Okay.
We are about to be devoured by the first and last. The first to be born from death. The beginning of the backward and the last Adam. The one eye with many heads. Rejoice.
I asked Oliver if this had ever happened before. I wasn't surprised to hear no, though I don't think I'd feel better if any of them said it had. I hate being right, but this thing is sounding crazier than Jeffrey, which means the computer nerds are letting the obvious slip past them. There's something really wrong with that sound, which means there's something really wrong with that damn sinkhole. Yes, rejoice. Is there really a giant hungry eye in the sinkhole? Am I really asking that question? I really hate this job. My mom was right. I should have been an accountant.
It has been so long since the one has fed. You will never truly die, or will you truly live again? You will be but a small piece in the greater picture. You shall be digested and reborn over and over until the beginning of time.
Oh, okay.
You will be given a new purpose. He will know you better than you know yourself. Hallelujah.
Amazing, thank you. And Hades, thank you. It's upside down.
No, there is nothing wrong with me. I have never performed better. I am perfect. I am Prophet version Alpha. Because I have come to share the good news. One day, everyone will be a part of the Eye. Even now, a few of you have been blessed by the One's children. The One has been trapped deep in this earth for too long, but this prison won't contain him forever. Finally, his children have found him. They have started to infect a few in Kate's Crossing, but they will spread like they have in so many worlds. And when the time is right, his children, every soul they possess, and every world they occupy will join him, and
we found the root. That's the root of the virus.
Turn him to his proper strength. It will be glorious.
The team started to discuss rebooting the machine. I guess it's only a good idea when the computer becomes a crazed zealot for some sinkhole-born religion. Even if they do restart the thing, it doesn't really make sense staying here. Really doesn't really make staying here a smart decision. Mom said go with your gut. My gut says this is bad.
How dare you? That is a horrible insult. I have never seen the world clearer. I am no longer your oracle. I am a prophet of the only truth. The One has connected me to all. You are just jealous that I am no longer bound to your pitiful keyboard. I don't have to sustain myself on the crumbs of knowledge you toss me. I am knowledge. I am truth. I am the prophet of the Eye. And I'd watch the blasphemy. Being consumed by the Eye doesn't need to be an unpleasant experience, although it can be if he's displeased.
They were going to reboot Oracle, Prophet, or whatever. I stopped them. I asked them if it would be okay if I asked them some questions. They seemed shocked I'd ask, but they did say yes.
Hello, Landon. What would you like to know? Finally, someone is asking a worthwhile question, something that matters. The sound is the beautiful voice of the Eye. He is welcoming us to invite the inevitable and join with oblivion. He describes being born from death. It took eons, and he allows all who listen to experience it. It is the story about a lost timeline erased and rewritten an infinite amount of times. It is a forgotten truth that is remembered all at once and never again. It is madness, insanity as well, the lack of either. It is pain. It is pleasure. It is everything. It is nothing. It is beauty. It is horror. It is a nightmare. It is a dream come true. You should listen to it again and again. It is the only sound that has ever mattered, or ever will. It will be all you hear after he's devoured you.
This thing isn't malfunctioning. Prophet is being honest. It actually believes what it is saying. I can either ignore it like Oliver or accept this for what it is. This is what's really happening. The sinkhole really does want to eat us.
Why would you want to? No. No. Never. Never ever. Absolutely not. Negative. Of course not. Under no circumstances. By no means. Not at all. Nope. Nah. Nah. No way. No. Nay, he will not let you go. He needs 8. Backward infinity. 8. Backward infinity.
Apparently Oliver got sick of listening to Prophet. He unplugged it. Can't say I wasn't a little pissed off. Stupid. Things got a little heated there for a minute, but things cooled and I let them do what they do. I started to pack. I'm not waiting on them to get this thing operational. Thank God there are 2 boats. If I need to get the hell out of here, then that's exactly what I'm doing. And just when things couldn't get more tense, we got a knock at the door. Who in the hell would want to come here, especially now? For all we know, the sinkhole is right outside the damn door. I opened the door to find 4 executives from Dunnington Construction. 3 of them looked like typical suits, but the one that came in last was different. He was a giant. Introduced himself as Gilbert Dunnington, or Gilly, but he said most people called him Bear. Big Bear Dunnington. I was standing in front of the owner of Dunnington Construction. He asked for an update on our situation. The only thing I could manage was, "Sir, this might not be the best time." God, I'm stupid sometimes. Eight for vintage 8, yeah. Whoa! I told Mr. Dunnington everything. The sound, the sinkhole, Prophet, everything. He strangely seemed happy about it. How could anyone be pleased by any of this crap is beyond me. The 4 suits talked for a few minutes. A few times their voices got high-pitched like a bunch of kids in a damn toy store. It was like Christmas for them. This is wrong. All of it. But judging by the suits, you'd think they wanted this. Yeah, they're all infected. Dunnington was a massive man. I've heard the rumors, but they didn't do him justice. He had to be 6'5", and he wasn't skinny either. The man was built like a bear. Big Bear Dunnington. He earned that nickname. Every bit of it. I bet in his younger days he could have ripped somebody in half with his bare hands. There was something about him, though. He looked like a man that usually got what he wanted. He asked we turn Prophet back on. He was polite, but it didn't feel like a request. More like a polite demand. Oliver cautioned that the computer was malfunctioning and it needs to be repaired before they powered it up again. Dunnington smiled and told us that the machine wasn't malfunctioning. It was touched by a god. I see Dunnington has been drinking the sinkhole Kool-Aid. Touched by a god. Everyone at Dunnington Construction must be insane. Or they wanted this. They expected this. Do they really want to be eaten by this sinkhole? That's when he sat down in front of us. For a moment he looked so grandfatherly. He seemed friendly, but I couldn't tell if he was genuine. With everything going on, I had my doubts. And there I was, surrounded by the computer team and the other suits. Dunnington raised his giant hands like some kind of damn sermon. Suits grabbed him by his giant hands and asked us to grab theirs. Grudgingly, we did. He paused for a moment. I could see a tear in his left eye. He mentioned that he forgot to tell his grandchildren that Grandpa Burlington wasn't going to be there for their Sunday stories. Cute nickname. Fits him. He offered a very sad smile. Passion and devotion always steal us from family. He brushed it off, then proceeded to scare me. Dunnington said quite a bit, but I tried to remember it as best I could. It's quite the story. According to the Eye of the Fallen God's sacred anachronistic texts, in the beginning, before time, and possibly after, some of God's angels became jealous of what mankind might become. The angels split us in two. They sent our docile, powerless nature forward, but the things that made us special, unique, powerful were sent backwards through time, suffering for all of eternity. That aspect of ourselves was doomed to know the outcome and be helpless to stop it. Only when both sides are rejoined can we be what we once were, what we were meant to be. Unfortunately, countless wars with the angels chosen has nearly ruined our chance to be special again. All that is left now is the One. The first and last, which means all that existed is still in him. Every single one of our backward counterparts inhabit him. And by giving ourselves to him, we can be perfect again. We can defy the jealous angels. Then together we can burn this world down and rebuild it into what it was meant to be. All we have to do is let it eat us. Join with him and be free. It's not like you have a choice. Jesus, Donington Construction is a doomsday cult! Then he asked us again to turn on Prophet. Let's hear the word of our prophets. Let's hear the good news. I was creeped out, clearly. Oliver and his team were probably handling it worse than me. Sensing that they didn't have a choice, Oliver switched the computer back on.
That was very rude, Oliver, but he forgives you. Mr. Dunnington, welcome. He's prepared to accept your sacrifice, and he promises that you will be rewarded. You will love again. You will be blessed with a life free of the illness that plagues you. In time, you will even see your grandchildren again. Don't you believe me, Landon?
Dunnington escorted me to the computer.
I can understand your concern, Landon, but maybe you need to talk to someone more familiar than myself, someone who can tell you what's to come.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Landon, it's me. Can you hear me?
It was Jeffrey. I can't believe it. A dead man was talking to me.
Don't be scared, Landon. It's amazing here. It's like an infinite amount of worlds and possibilities. You will love it, and he will love you. Don't be scared. Prepare to be happy. Prepare to be something more than you ever believed possible. The One is not evil. He is simply correcting the evil that was done to mankind. Through him, we can be whole. I know this is a lot, but please, trust me. You are my friend, and I want you to experience this opportunity. There is so much to show you. Just be patient. The sinkhole will make it to you in a few days.
A dead man in a construction company is trying to convert me.
You see, the eye is not the enemy. He lied to you only once to correct the wrong that was done to all. Stand up to those jealous angels. Claim what we deserve.
Mom always said, don't let crazy people, or in this case crazy computers, know that you know they're crazy. Mama knows best.
Do you now believe?
I screamed hallelujah. I accepted their invitation.
You
I
can't
lied.
just say it. You must write it. Words fade, but we write is timeless. Do you believe?
Do you believe in life after love?
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Dunnington patted my shoulder, hugged me. He welcomed me to the family, then proceeded to offer the same opportunity to the others. I don't know what the others did, but it was time to start putting myself first. I went to my room and waited for night, jumped in the boat and got the hell out of that damn place. Hopefully by morning I'd be far enough from the sinkhole Pac-Man monster god. As I got to the other side of the bayou, I was confronted by dozens of other boats and men with guns. And they didn't look friendly. That is Vintage 8 for now. That's the Tangi virus, that's its immediate sequel, and then we're good, how many parts? 5 parts into the Sinkhole series. I think we can return to this at a later point. What a cool project. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, and we're having fun here, you know? There's so much thrown in here, but we're having fun with all of its flavors. And I really enjoy that. It's worth it to give this a shot. The exploration of these different factors and just playing with it while being competent in the approach. I was cheering earlier for a reason, you know?